All right, so let's get started. My name is Chris Miller. I am the Western Sales Manager for Paton Group here in California, and I'll be your quote-unquote host for this session. And this session, I believe, will take anywhere between 40 to 45 minutes. During today's webinar, we ask that you submit your questions through the chat, which will be actively monitored and reviewed by either Justin Tagawa or Megan Tansom. Justin is our sales rep for Central California and Hawaii, and Megan is our marketing manager. We have a great agenda for you today, designed around technology that inspires kids. Let me click this over to you. And with that, let's go through today's agendas. So we have a quick introduction of our team members. I'll do that on their behalf. And then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this, which is Garrett Smalley. He's the Roland Products Manager with his presentation on printer cutters and UV printers and those applications that have been really instrumental in us changing some of the classrooms that we work with. Followed by Brad Roa, who will be highlighting current schools and projects throughout California that have been using Roland products. That's kind of inspirational as well. Myself, Chris Miller, I'll be discussing prepackaged bundles for the classroom, kind of going through hit and miss things that we like that work very, very well at different levels. Followed up with Q&A, review and questions, additional information is needed, just general laundry, we'll go through that. And then finally, we'll have a giveaway drawing. I believe we're offering, 2 Starbucks cards, I believe. All right, so let's jump into this. Introduction. So people that we have involved with this, we have H2I Group, who is currently celebrating its 100th year in business. And today's team members include Tom Allen, Philip, Paul Getson, and Nate Thiesfeld in sales, and Megan Tanson in marketing. And this consists of our Midwest territories or group. And then we have Paton Group with over 28 years of experience. And our continued mission is to bring real-world experience of cutting-edge technologies into the classroom. And today's team members are Roger Furlong, Brad Roa, Justin Tagawa, Frank Payton, and myself, Chris Miller, in sales. And then we have Camille Payton in marketing for the West Coast market. Also, Paton Group is you'll see this name go back and forth, H2I Group and Paton Group. Paton Group is a subsidiary of H2I Group, effective since November of 2019, and it's been a wonderful event thus far. As you can see here, Paton Group or H2I Group, both of us have always been focused on being your single source VAR for education and technology in the classroom. This includes software, hardware, design help for the classroom, or building layouts for those classes or buildings. So we've gotten involved in a lot of things over the years, and we have a lot of different products that we've supported and worked with. With those products, it's an ongoing, growing lineup as new generational industrial equipment comes in from augmented reality, 3D printers, robotics and automation, CNC lasers, and of course UV printers and vinyl cutters. This is all being provided from one vendor. We can also customize and bundle to your program. This also includes certification, training, and ongoing product support and maintenance. We are regionally based, so not knowing exactly where everyone is, I'm assuming you're being invited from across the U.S., but Paton Group currently serves and supports California, Nevada, and Hawaii with sales, marketing, and technical representation, which includes installation, training, follow-up service, maintenance, things along those lines. And in the Midwest, we have the sister company that's doing the same thing in Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and a few other states out there. Let's see here. With that, today we're excited to introduce you to Garrett Smalley. He is the technical sales manager for 3D and education products at Roland. Garrett will take us through a few of the Versa Studio products that have been instrumental in our digital media and fabrication programs, discussing products, capabilities, unique features, and of course, project-based curriculum. This is all stuff that enables our schools to excel in that classroom. and produce some amazing products and projects. Let me hit this. And with that, thank you, Garrett, for being here. And the meeting is yours as soon as I hit stop. There you go.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to join us today. Today's topic, unlocking potential with Roland's UV and print cut technology. To kind of set the stage a little bit, today's classroom, there's more technology fueling education than ever before. I think when we look at the way education kind of parallels industry, graphics and printing technology is also adopting rapidly. So let's take a look at some of the leading print equipment and technology used in education. I think it serves to start defining some of these concepts before we really dig into it and dig into the hardware and the applications made possible. So let's start simple here. When it comes to print cut, this is really a process where we're combining two different technologies with one machine. We're going to be imaging or printing graphics. We're then going to be using a cutting feature of the machine to custom cut that shape. So you can imagine, all the places that this sort of application can lie, where it comes to signage, stickers, decoration of classroom, vehicle wraps, banners, and more. These sort of things are all around us, but the principles to get started there are really quite simple. One of the advantages of print cut is, of course, the variety of materials on the market that makes this such a good fit for many different things. On the flip side of things, we have UV printing. Now, this one is admittedly a newer technology to industry. I'd say it's really become polished in the last 10 years. And this is an inkjet imaging process where we're actually printing directly to objects. So it's an inkjet process. We're laying down ink, and then that ink is cured or fixed with a UV lamp. The advantages of this is that we can print on all sorts of unconventional materials like wood, plastic, glass, leather, you name it, and really continue to find interesting and unique things that customers are finding to print on. So before we get to some of the hardware that makes all of these sort of workflows possible, I figured it's a good place to start with the applications. By applications, in the print world, this is really the way you can apply that given technology to your curriculum, to the output you want to achieve, to the ideas that students are bringing forth. So let's look at a few such examples. When it comes to print cut, options are very open-ended, like I mentioned, but let's look at starting small. I think stickers are a good place to start with engaging with students. From a young age, we're really programmed to love stickers, whether it's the gold stars, stickers at the dentist. It's an easy way to engage with students. So here's just a few fun examples here. Something that can really get students involved with this process, try to bring their concepts from idea to reality. But alongside, we're really demonstrating or exposing students to some real world skills here, the process of printing and outputting to a machine, setting up a contour cut line. And these sort of simple projects can then lead to things like label production. So here's an example where you can start to see, this print cut workflow then be applied to something you might have built into your curriculum or you want to encourage students to inspire. So that same print then cut workflow can be worked into product prototyping, marketing or creating a brand, creating real world prototypes of items, or even just fundraising, fun things in between. Can be even more than that though. So we take that same sort of print and cut workflow, and we can then apply that to a heat transfer vinyl. Very similar process, and now we can take that into apparel decoration. Start to get into athletics, fundraising, customization of clothing, really a lot of expression and creativity can be had out of heat transfer vinyl. What's nice about the heat transfer vinyl is that it seems to be very versatile with material. So think cotton, polyester, canvas, even leather. So pretty interesting application on the print cut side. We can take those same concepts and think bigger. So here's some examples of maybe some larger print and cut applications where you can then take those simple concepts and build upon it. Now you can get into wall graphics, classroom decoration, athletics banners, even combining technology with this Wildcats sign we see up in the upper right. You know, combining a router cut rigid substrate or a laser cut panel with a printed process. There's really some unique advantages to be had with just the versatility here. And let's not forget vinyl lettering too. So I mentioned print cut is really a combined technology of printing and cutting. You can still use those features independently. So here's some example of just simple decals, lettering, things that we see often in storefronts, classrooms, you know, hours of operation, and all that can be had with this same integrated platform. So that's a little bit of examples on the print cut side. I will get to some hardware that we can look at to make this possible, but now let's look at the UV printing side. This one is a different technology I mentioned that allows us to print directly to objects. So this is really a good display highlighting one of our latest machines here, the BD8 desktop UV printer. But the idea being is that you have this flat bed to work on, which is effectively your canvas for creativity. There's a whole world of UV printable blanks out there on the market that can be taken, customized, stylized, and that's really the strength of the UV printers. To provide some additional examples, here are a few UV printed objects. So just to name a few, we've got coasters that can be imaged, metal lunch boxes, canvas journal blanks, cell phone cases, awards, even cylindrical containers using our rotary rack fixtures. So these options are pretty open-ended, but are really a great way to inspire students to create some real-world items out of your machine. And again, I think, you know, when looking at ways to engage students, when you can bring something from concept to reality, it's really an empowering thing. And these machines certainly help educators get that done. Outside of that one, you know, you can really begin to think about educational opportunities with these systems, not only to support and supplement your curriculum with a machine to kind of work alongside, but think fundraising opportunities, spirit store fulfillment, entrepreneurial aspects of students want to, you know, pursue their own business, or even just creating items for fun. There's lots of different ways that these machines can be used in the classroom. So now we'll get into some of the product families that can help us get there and achieve these goals. First off is the Versa Studio series. So this brand has been around for a while with Roland, but it's really broadened its offerings in recent years. What to know about Versa Studio products is that they're effectively our desktop machines, scaled down from our larger, more industrial machines. They're really aimed at desktop or benchtop size, so they're easy to accommodate in the back of a classroom or makerspace. They're designed for new operators in the way that they're turnkey with software and offerings there. They're compact and accessible, so it makes it easy to get started, easy to learn on, very forgiving platforms, and they carry the same versatility as some of our larger machines and offerings. So on the right here, you can see the Versa Studio family really spans our desktop engravers, impact printers, cutters, and inkjet products. But for today, I'm going to focus on the inkjet products. These are really our newest machines, our most favorite in education, and they seem to provide the most value in terms of versatility and what they're capable of producing. So here's a look at the big three. Starting off in the center, we have the BN2-20. This is our latest 20-inch printer cutter, capable of all sorts of roll-fed applications, stickers, signage, heat transfer, canvas. This one machine, you can think of as a Swiss Army knife of printers. You can quickly switch from one sort of print job to the next with a matter of swapping out that roll, loading in some new materials, and adjusting your graphics. Really good print cut solution that we have in the offering. It's productive, easy to operate, low maintenance, and one of my favorites. To the right of that one, we have the BY20. This is one of our direct-to-film printers. This is a newer technology in the market. Really just noteworthy highlight here, if you ever hear the direct-to-film term, Roland is on its second generation of this technology. It's primarily an apparel transferring system, does very well with that, but it's specifically for t-shirt and apparel transfers. On the flip side, we have the BD8. This is our UV flatbed printer, direct to object, and really Roland's first desktop or benchtop model, if you will. What's nice about this one is that it's fully enclosed, has lots of automation built right in, some other features we'll get into, but all of these systems are driven by Roland VersaWorks. It's an easy to use and operate RIP software, which is basically where you go to lay out your JPEGs or PDFs, send them to the printer. So the nice part about VersaWorks here is that this one program will drive really most of Roland's inkjet products, and you can add multiple machines up to one VersaWorks should you expand or upgrade down the road. VersaWorks is also used across the industry. So while you're learning these concepts of direct-to-print or print cut, you're also teaching students transferable career skill and being able to operate this RIP software. Here's a closer look at that BD8. Again, this one came out earlier this year, has a 6-color configuration, integrated air filtration, has an A5 platform, and we've been creating some fixtures to help load up multiple smaller items on here. These are a very open-ended system. They pair well with printer cutters or lasers, so really a great addition to any makerspace or classroom focused on these sort of graphics. Moving along, here's that BN2-20A we looked at. So really, again, one of my favorites here, just because of the versatility that can be had. It's our second generation desktop printer cutter, about 4 times the speed of the BN20A, if you've experienced or seen our previous generation there. And we have an optional white configuration with this machine. I generally steer educators towards the 4-color due to the low maintenance and versatility options, but the white is pretty awesome if you're looking to produce translucent graphics, print on clear medias, or just have that spot white capability. This system also includes Flexi Design. It's really an industry sign making program similar to CorelDRAW or maybe Adobe Illustrator. So it's nice that you have that included right out of the gate. And here's a closer look at that BY20 I mentioned, really a newer apparel decoration and transfer system on market. It yields soft, kind of rubberized transfers that work well on garments. They're nice and breathable, and it seems to be one of the ways that the industry is moving. So if you have a program focused on apparel decoration or transfers, this is certainly a system to consider. Very productive, versatile, and also includes that Flexi Design software I mentioned a moment ago. Noteworthy here, but not a core focus. If you're interested in the UV printer cutters, we recently launched the MO240, which is a scaled up version of our UV printers. So if you're looking to print larger objects, requiring that 18 by 24 inch area, this system would have a bit more technology and productivity built in with a larger platform to host that capability. All right, now we'll get into the other product family that I have to share, and that is the TrueViz. TrueViz is really Roland's core lineup of industry style print cut machines. They still pack the same kind of ease of use and capability as the smaller machines, but this will allow you to get into signage, banners, vehicle wraps, wall wraps. When you think bigger and get into those larger applications, the 30, 54, and 64-inch width machines seem to be a bit more productive. So here's a look at the lineup here. Within that, we have several different ink technologies, but they're versatile printer cutters driven by VersaWorks. As with the Versa Studio series, the TrueViz product line offers about 5 different product series, but I have this honed down to our favorites here: the MG, SG3, and VG. The MG is a UV printer cutter, kind of unique, something newer to market that combines both technologies that we've covered so far. The SG3 and the VG3 are kind of our price point and professional series of our printer cutters. So these will achieve a lot of the same applications that we reviewed earlier, just providing that width of 30, 54, and 64-inch widths. The MG series has an optional gloss and white ink, so this will enable spot gloss and spot white, bringing some creativity and control there when it comes to finish of colors, total control of translucency, finish of graphics, and all that. The SG3 is really one of the go-to for many educators looking for a 30 to 54-inch machine. This is a straight 4-color printer cutter featuring our latest ink set and technology. So with this, you'll get our TR2 ink series. You'll get a 7-inch touchscreen with lots of information and controls at a glance. And this also includes some must-have accessories like a take-up unit and controller. Applications on this one will span from window graphics, vehicle wraps, banners, and signage. Up from there, we have the VG3. It looks very similar to our SG3, but this introduces additional ink colors, which can ramp up your color gamut, provide some incentives in terms of productivity and color capabilities. Really a nice option if you're looking to create a makerspace or lab that would replicate something you might find in industry. So to summarize these technologies, I think it's worth looking at some of the takeaways. First off, print cut is super versatile. I mean, we ran through some of the examples there, but it really can just bring a lot to your classroom or makerspace by enabling, the creation of signage, stickers, banners, and all of that. When students, get a hold of these machines, it can be very empowering. They can pick up, transferable skills that can lead them into the workforce and, support their program along the way. These inks are known for being vivid, durable, and fast drying. So if you see striking, glossy prints coming off of Roland, chances are it's one of these printer cutters. Versatility I've covered, but can't say it enough. We have so many different films on these machines, and we continue to bring on more. These systems are also open-ended, so if you ever find a specialty film out there, chances are you can run it on one of our systems. And of course, the quality and vibrancy. This is something that Roland's built its brand on. These machines are built to last and built to perform, and that's really evident in the graphics they produce. When looking at the advantages of UV, first off, just the instant gratification factor. I think these machines, as soon as something is imaged with a UV process, it's ready right out of the machine. There's no post-processing or anything involved, and they're fairly durable right out of the gate. There's a whole world of blanks that I mentioned that can be imaged or customized with these systems. And I think, that's one of the best parts. There's always something new and unique that I'm finding to print or seeing customers explore. And of course, the spot colors. I mentioned the spot white and spot gloss give you full control over translucency, opacity, matte or gloss finish. So definitely a tool you want to have in your lab if you're exploring graphics and production in that way. So we've looked at a few different technologies here, lots of different examples. To tie it all together, Roland has something called project-based learning. Now, this is a web-based platform for training and project exploration. Within each of these modules, this is something that would be purchased alongside the machine. You would have a series of 4 projects to help get you started with a given system, along with instruction on how to use it, load it, set it up, whatever you may want to get into with these machines. Really cool offering that is aimed to help get the most out of your equipment. It's made to really support, applying your curriculum, to support students in the use of these machines, to explore training if you need to bring in new people or have some sort of refresher with your system. And customers that buy this and use it really seem to get the most out of their systems. So something I'd encourage you to look into if you have one of these machines on your wish list for this year or beyond, project-based learning. Now I'll round things out with a few success stories here, customers that have used our printer cutters or UV systems and are really running with it. So this is an example of North Gwinnett High School out in the Southeast. They had an SG3 540 and they used it to create props for their theater department. They created posters and heat transfer graphics for clubs on campus. And they even partnered with their CNC team to create custom rigid signage here. So you can see the router cut substrate with the printed graphics laid on top. Really a cool technique that you'll see all over town. If you start looking for contour cut signage like this, something pretty cool that can be shared with these systems. One more success story to share for you. This is Blackstone Valley Tech. It's a regional vocational school up in the Northeast. They really had a good run with this system too. So another SG3 540 case. This customer really had an in-house print shop in school where students were involved with quoting, production, installation, and delivery of goods. So you can see just some of the examples and expanse of the lab that they had here. This is quite an impressive operation. They've even gone as far as supporting their community with their graphics productions. Leave it there for success stories, but if you're curious about more, we have more stories like this on our website under the Education Gallery. So with that said, I really want to round things out. There's a lot to be had with the world of print cut and UV in education. These machines are more of an asset to the learning experience than ever before, and it's really exciting to see that out there. In addition, products like project-based learning really help educators tie it all together, and it's really exciting to see students empowered, again, taking their concepts from idea to reality, using these machines in the process, and really engaging with the process. That's it for me. If you have any questions, probably a good idea just to leave them in the chat for now. Happy to field anything at the end. But at this point, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Brad.
Let me set this up here for you. Thank you, Garrett. Lots of good questions in the chat. Justin, thank you for taking care of that for me. We also have a BD8 and BN2 here for our trade shows. And there's always a line of teachers wanting stickers, small signs, custom prints on woods. We make it available. They put them on notebooks. And it's also the machine in our office that all the sales guys are always tinkering with or making things here to give gifts for friends and family. Thank you again, Garrett. All right, let's get slide 7 here going. Next up is case studies and current customer sites with Brad Roa. Brad has been with Paton Group for over 10 years as a technical products manager / consultant. He currently handles the Northern California territory from essentially Monterey up to the Oregon border. He has an extensive resume in woodworking and is our only professor emeritus from Long Beach City College. Amazing trainer and mentor on our products, working with teachers. And thank you again, Brad, for being here. And the meeting is yours.
Okay, thanks, Chris. For a nice introduction. Different cases or different locations to show you. Two are in the northern part of the state, and one is down in Southern California. So the first one I want to show you is, let's see if I can get them going. Technology here, come on. Call it this. There we go. Hit the right button. Sorry. This is Butte College. They're by Oroville, kind of the northeastern part of the state. And this is one of the early areas or colleges, excuse me, that actually created a makerspace. And you can see that here's their kind of their story. And in the fall of 2017, they got some grant. They were later allocated some more money. And they were early adapters of the print cut products from Roland. Go back about 3 generations of printers is where they actually started. And they have both latest and prior to technology. There you see on the left picture, you see the MG640, which is the UV print cut. They had the Eco Solvent one prior to that of a couple generations, and they chose to go this direction. They are printing stickers and banners on there using the UV inks. On the left, you can see, or on the right, you can see a flatbed UV printer. It's the LEF200I series that they've had for several years that they are printing things on. And then in the background, you can see the BN2-20. Now, this is a makerspace that's open to the community. So it's not just the students that are coming in that are enrolled in the college, but they actually have people outside in the community, and they're fairly rural as far as the location is concerned. And what they do is the community comes in, they have the CNC routers, they have 3D printers, they have other kinds of printing technology that the community members and students get to use. And right outside their front door, I took this picture of their display case, where you can see they have this little gift shop, and then zoomed in on some of the stickers that were being created for the UV. And what they do is they actually host little community sales in their makerspace spot. So you can see it's a super mini spot if you look at the red spot on this pop-up or this flyer that I scanned. It's 12 inches by 24 inches that community members come in. It's free. They get to sell their wares, and they do this on a monthly basis at the program. So this is one of the more, or I'm going to say one of the more mature spaces that's been around for a while. They took it on. They took on the makerspace movement fairly early. The next one is they're fairly new to all of this process, where last year working with the CTE director, they wanted to provide purchase equipment for several programs. And this one, they picked, they bought some equipment for their graphic production program. And you can see in the picture on the right, they purchased a BN2-20. And then right away, the photograph in the middle, the graphics teacher was given an assignment to the students that they needed to create stickers for the athletic programs or different programs on the campus. So right away, the graphics teacher got involved, got the students involved, and started producing products on this little BN20. Now, not only did they want to do this inside the classroom, but they also had a separate room where they put the larger format printer. And it's actually, they're calling it the campus print shop, where they are cutting and, printing and cutting and producing items. If one of the things that they were doing in the classroom, they are doing heat transfer material on the little BN20, but they're also doing it here in this print shop as well. They purchased a second heat press to actually be located in the print shop because they are increasing their production. In addition to what they have in the print shop, they recently did purchase one of the larger MO240 UV printers on Roland. They have really grasped this concept of being able to produce things on campus and for the programs and for the community. They have been doing this for just about a year. They are in the next year planning on producing some of the larger banners and things around campus for some of the different programs. So they are off to a very good start. And the third one is in Southern California at South Hills High School. We started working with them just prior to COVID, and they had just remodeled the inside of this student union building. And they, working with an assistant principal, they had a vision for one of their programs. They wanted to purchase a large format printer. So in the end of 2020, they did purchase an SG2 540, of which we went there during COVID and assembled the machine, put it in this room behind the glass doors, and there it sat for about a year until everybody came back. The exciting thing is what they've done with it since then. Or before I do that, let me say, I forgot to put this slide in just this morning, but in the middle here, you can see the business finance sector, or business management pathway, and entrepreneurship, and it's a virtual enterprise. And that's what's been exciting to see them do. You can see the room where the printer is in those glass windows on the left. So I'll describe this a little bit. This is the student center. On the left-hand side, you see South Hills Print. That's where the large format printer is and where they're doing all of their production of banners and things like that. On the right-hand side, you see SH Design. Now that's where they have cutting, but that's where they're also producing t-shirts. And then behind the screen in that whole area is their classroom. Okay. Let's see, they currently have an enterprise where they're producing things for 25 schools in the district, the high schools and the middle schools. And they're beginning to produce things also for the district. Also in this image, you can see that they printed actually on their printer this perforated window covering. This is all student designed, student produced, student applied products that they've created in this program. A little closer view of the print side, and then you can see where they put the SG2, they got their banner, and this is where all the application is being taken place. And I believe I have a picture of the banner that's up there that I'll talk about in a second. And then on the SH Design side, this is the room behind the perforated windows where you see the heat press. They have a large cutter that because they make so many banners, that they purchased a large cutter to help trim, they grom it, and then they send these all out to all the different schools. So this is how it works. They actually have behind the print room, they actually have a sales room. And in this room, they invite people to come in, and they already have worksheets. They know their costs of what it takes to make things. and they actually interview customers, both from other campuses and also actually in the community as well. And in this case, you can see the green banner behind above the black chairs on the right. And then on the opposite wall, you see that there's a reverse image, in a sense, of a banner, and they explain to people, well, we can do this or we can do that, and then they give them their choices and help them through the process. So yes, this is it. This is the virtual enterprise. It's IB business, and the students are running the show in this case. These are some examples of some of the things that they've done in the upper right. They printed this banner for beginning of school that went on every campus. Then at a middle school, they wanted some stickers. So there's a skate club that they did. You also have, like Garrett had showed prior to that, a bunch of different stickers for different things that they've done. And then in the lower left, these are schedules that they printed on the Raleigh Poly banner film, more than just paper, because this is something that was on every single campus, posted on walls and different locations that are going to be there for a while. And then in the lower right, we can see schedules for, oops, sorry. You can see schedules that they created for all these different programs. Now, they're well underway. They've only been doing this for a year. There are other things they're going to do. They have grad night where they're going to go to Disneyland. So they're going to print big banners to go on all the buses so that when they get students come out of their grad night, they can identify their buses and make it easy for the students to make their way home. And this is the last thing that they did. So as an example of how they're working with the community and this, kind of the community, the parents and the programs, these are 4-foot by 6-foot banners. The girls, graduating seniors. And so you see on the right, these are 4x6 posters that are on the outside or in the outfield, right outfield wall. And then I did a close-up of them as well. And the way this went down is that the coach came to the teacher and said, we'd like to make these banners. They brought in the parents, and in about a week or so, these are all coming down. The parents were involved, and the parents funded this. And the way all of this is working at this school, they have a website, they have an email address, they have costs that they have, and any money that is given to them is given to them in donation form. The pricing of the products are kept at a minimum. They generate a little bit of extra money, and in this last year, they've generated over $1,500 to go back to the program to buy more equipment. They're looking at a little vinyl cutter to produce single color graphics and single color transfers on shirts and stuff, because they're going to, the next thing is to increase the volume of things that they're doing on the design and the shirt side. So I think that's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Sorry. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Bradley. That was great. Everyone can hear me? Sorry, I had a little delay there. Next on the agenda is me, and you've seen quite a few products here offered by Roland. And what we've done over the last course of, oh my goodness, probably 10 or 15 years is we started putting bundles together. Let's see if this is going to progress forward. There we go. Just to help you out. And what I mean by that is we have an enormous amount of technology available through Paton Group and H2I Group for the classrooms. It can be a little overwhelming when you quote unquote start out. So we have paired some of the products into bundles. In this particular case, we have a creator or innovator bundle. These are things that we offered like the LAUSD specifically to set up their little their classrooms. And these bundles are created as turnkey labs with foundational technologies. Again, the goal is to inspire students in the classroom, and Roland has and will always be the backbone of these bundles. You can see other products there. As I said, the BN2, the BD8, we use those extensively in our trade shows. It brings in a lot of people. It gets a lot of people excited to see how fast and easy it is to generate products quickly, taking images and or some stuff that we've already pre-made. We have, in this particular case, this is the creator bundle. So this would be quote unquote kind of a lower end bundle, entry level. And this has got a bamboo 3D printer, a universal laser engraver, and then a Tormach CNC, a small one. Our bundles offer hardware again and software for, as it says here, entry level labs, maker spaces, graphics and fine arts programs, entrepreneurial and marketing programs. Let's see if this next one goes over. There it goes. As well as engineering labs. This includes sign making, laser engraving, cutting, both additive and subtractive technologies with 3D printing and CNCs. We offer additional softwares and materials from entry level to industry grade equipment. You can see on the right hand side some of these softwares, SolidWorks, it's the industry standard, Mastercam. These are higher level packages, not just entry level. So depending on what we're talking to and who we're talking to, the groups, we have these in elementary schools and middle schools, all the way up to your USCs, UCLAs, Caltechs, places like that have our equipment and are utilizing either internally for their own research and facilities, and or as promotional marketing and or makerspace, innovator labs, things along those lines. We have also, I didn't put a slide together for this. I just realized what time it is right now. So in the interest of time, I'll just jump ahead real quick. We also have piggyback contracts through companies like Sourcewell and Pepum to help reduce the request for additional quotes for your grants, for your districts through Sourcewell and Pepum. So we have a lot of good stuff there available to you. That took a lot of work to get those. You can also see we also have certifications available, and that's what a lot of money is tied to in education, is delivering a student that meets industry certification or is work ready. And we have those on different pieces of equipment. Not just everything that you see there, but other things as well. And then we also always offer support, installation, and ongoing training as needed. And again, with that, additional questions. I don't know if it's open, the mics. If not, continue to throw stuff into the chat.
People can talk, Chris, if
Okay.
they want to,
Okay.
or they can throw it in the chat.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I want to, respect your time here. It is 12:50 right now. We went a little bit longer in the first portion of this. So with that, Justin, do we have any additional questions that require follow-up? I don't see anything else in there.
Let's see here. I think Garen and I were kind of answering a lot of the questions that came into the chat. Somebody just asked, Mark, who can I speak with? I'm in Santa Barbara County. So Mark, your sales rep is going to be Chris Miller, who can follow up with you and talk to you more about the Roland products here. So with that being said, if there's any other questions, if there's no other questions, I think we can move on to the giveaway now.
In conclusion, thank you for attending today's presentation. Should you have any additional questions, please reach out to your current sales rep. If you don't know who that is, marketing will send a quote unquote follow-up email where you can request more information, support documents, and or pricing, depending if we're going that far with it. And that's all we have here on behalf of H2I Group, Paton Group, and Roland. We thank you so much for attending. And as I said, we will have a series of these events where we're demonstrating and talking about technology and showing samples in the classroom and how we've applied that over the last few years. And with that, thank you again.